Yeah.
One thing we haven't done in a long time is an OpenAI shill segment. Juanito,
I
you
don't know what
ready?
the fuck you're talking about.
Before we get to
I don't,
OpenAI launching agents last night, I want to ask about like some cybersecurity implications of putting that to work. Google announced that their Big Sleep AI was able to, based on intel from Google Threat Intelligence, Big Sleep discovered an SQLite vulnerability CVE 2025-6956, a critical security flaw and one that was known only to threat actors and was at risk of being exploited. Through the combination of threat intel and this Big Sleep AI, Google was able to
come on.
actually
They're not
predict.
paying this. They're not paying us enough to read that fucking article out loud during the minute
Bullshit? You call
Google starts
bullshit?
to, it's not even bullshit. It's like, why do you write this fucking story at all? And that was my notes. Like, I was reading this thing and I'm just like, I'm looking at it. And all I wanted to know is who
Hey,
the fuck is this story for? And
all
of
my Mandian
course,
friends were tweeting and retweeting it. Like,
bro,
what do you
I
expect
hope
me
they
to do?
get I hope they get referral bonuses or something, or I guess they've now, like, Mandiant has built a botnet out of everybody's like accounts. But look, there might be a super fucking cool finding behind this. I imagine that there's a super cool finding behind this. The story I read was the Black Hat DEF CON sales pitch. It literally had the fucking booth number on it to come visit our booth for all of the AI, blah, blah, blah. And no fucking details about how it is they've determined that this nobody, like, they basically just claim to precog their way out of like zero-day exploitation. Like, they just
Google,
minority reported this CVE, and if they did it,
wait a
I want to
second.
give you your credit, but
Listen,
I'm not going to your fucking booth. That's all I'm saying.
Google said specifically, this is word for word from their blog post. Google was able to actually predict that a vulnerability was imminently going to be used, and we were able to cut it off beforehand. Costin, don't you think that's impressive for AI to take
Are
some
you
threat intelligence and do that?
are you people like collaborating against me? Like, what the fuck? What is this shit?
No, like honestly, to me, um, so there's like more questions to this story than there are answers. And like my question would be like, so what was happening here, like in reality? Like all the marketing talk aside, all the
Yeah.
PR and the hype.
Strip away the
What was
nonsense.
going on in reality? So Google Threat Intelligence. Somehow they observe threat actors talking about acquiring or building or developing an SQLite exploit. That's how I read it. So then they're like, how do we find it before they acquire it or before they actually weaponize it? So they use their AI to go through the SQLite source code, and eventually they find one vulnerability. Is it the same or is it a different one? Could it be the bad guys were talking about the same or a different one? We don't know. And then they use that, like they find the bug, the real bug, then they patch it, right? One important thing here, by the way, is that SQLite is embedded in many different things. Like it can be embedded even, I mean, iPhones, like Apple's operating systems, they use SQLite extensively for all sorts of things, and you can probably find it pretty much anywhere, like in even like IoT devices, routers that use it to store configuration data. So the potential for exploitation would be very interesting. Like it would be a huge surface for that, right? The other thing here being, of course, that every single instance of exploitation would require very precise tuning, super precise, to the version of SQLite that is implemented, to the platform, to the all sorts of memory protections and mitigations, if there are any, of course, and then to delivering the data that actually potentially causes this vulnerability to get exploited. So there's like probably a lot of things here. If your friends were retweeting the story, then I guess there's more to the eye. And what we are facing is a marketing distilled version of, let's brag about it. But the other side of the story might be that, yeah, something interesting has happened here, and they just, against the clock on a race, they use the AI to find this bug, patch it and potentially
But
mitigate
is there a Black
some sort
Hat
of thing.
talk? Is there a DEF CON talk that I
There's
didn't
a
hear
CVE,
about?
so we know there's a vulnerability.
Yeah, but you're not saying we have a model that found a vuln, which alone is still a good story. Still want to read that story. But you're saying that you just precogged, like, fixed a vuln that hadn't been exploited but that somebody knew about. And I am fascinated by the dynamics that you imply. And I'm not saying that that cannot happen. I would just like to know how it happened in order to give you guys credit for it. Because otherwise, you could have just written us a nice Project Zero blog and told us about this vuln you found and told us that you thought somebody was going to exploit it. And we'd still be super happy with you. I'm just saying this is like... this is something that has not been claimed before ever, and
Yeah,
to
they're
have it
making this
done
clear.
in the context of
we believe
a
this is the
fucking sales blog feels
Mhm.
like bullshit. And I love my Google friends, and I'm surprised at how, like, DeepMind is doing amazing shit, and I think Gemini is gonna do good shit. I'm just saying that this is not the way that you share new findings that have never been discussed before.
Correct me if I'm wrong. This is the same thing that OpenAI, Dave Vitale, and Aardvark does, though. They just say, we found this thing and it's fixed, but no one is...
Yeah, but Dave Vitale's not coming out and saying, well, in a dream, I realized that she was about to use this vulnerability against the United States, so we fixed it before he had a chance to do so. If he did, we would check Dave's meds and make sure he's okay. But in this case, some asshole at Microsoft could just be like, at Google can just be like, come to our booth. What you're claiming is not beyond the realm of possibility, but this is not the way to do it.
If they had deleted the line about come to your booth, would that make it a more reputable?
No, it would not. It would not. The claim, you just gotta substantiate it. We're in brand new territory. And if anyone has the data to read people's minds, it's Google. I can tell you that firsthand. But like, you did something awesome. Please let us know how you did it so that we can give you credit. And that's it. In the meantime, I would like to shame you thoroughly for whomever in their fucking... Like, you know how many fucking lawyers it takes to put out a Google blog post? Do you know how many people reviewed this shit? They were hot desking their way, lawyer to lawyer, reading this thing. And nobody thought to say, maybe this is a little uncouth. Maybe this is not the smartest way to say this.
And here's the thing and they caught all of us, because I'm going to read a blog post from Project Zero from November 1st, 2024. Today we're excited to share the first real-world vulnerability discovered by a big sleep agent and exploitable stack buffer overflow in SQLite. So this is like something they found during like building this deep sleep thing since November, and they're like regenerating it for new...
vuln? Because I read the November post.
No, I don't think it might not be the same vuln.
No, because it's a 2025 CVE, right?
Yeah, but that doesn't mean anything. They kind of reserve these CVEs for things. It might not be the same thing, but I mean, they've obviously been using this big sleep
worse. AI. No, look, okay, again. The model part at the hands of Project Zero, cool as fuck. I would like to hear much more about this, please. I want to read as much about it as you're willing to tell us. The big sleep thing, fucking cool, right? We got really fascinated with Aardvark and what's happening there. They're claiming similar things and showing similar things. Fucking cool. I'm sure there's a difference in approach, right? Like they talk more about fuzzing on this side. I know Dave Vitale not a fan of going that route. And, there we can discuss different design methodologies and results. Fascinating. That is not what this fucking blog is about. And if this is the same vuln, like I fucking hope it's not the same vuln. Because if it is the same vuln, Then you're telling me you found this shit in November and decided to put a marketing spin on it in July for Black Hat, and you can go fuck yourself. Like, this is the dumbest. Also, you're telling me you haven't found shit since November? Did you stop running it? Like, what happened?
I am just confirming that we're not fact checking any of this in real time, so we
Please
could be
don't. Yeah, we
completely
have not,
wrong
like,
about whether it's the same
You're
vol or
lucky
not.
we read the story. I don't know. Like, yeah.
Well, let's do
I
the
would
AI
go. I would go to the Google booth. If they had if they had free burgers,
This is how they win.
they had
This
free
is how they win.
burgers, rambutans, I would go.
No, absolutely not.
Well, speaking of Dave Vitale and OpenAI, last night they announced OpenAI agents, which is like a new mode or a new
Dope.
within the
Can I
tools,
say
right?
two things.
Devil's advocate.
The first is that I noticed that it used to be AI. Like, if you don't have AI in your pitch, you suck.
Mhm.
Now it's no longer AI, it's AI agents. If
That's
you
right.
don't have AI
That's right.
agents, you may have AI in your pitch, but still you suck again if you don't have AI agents. So, like, just emphasizing this marketing very important keywords. If you do pitches, put AI agents, MCP, things like that.
Yeah.
Very important. The other thing is that I guess that these people with big sleep, like whoever came up with that, why can't you call it the big wake? Or I don't know.
Terrible name. Terrible name. Terrible name in the context of this nap time thing. I know it makes sense, but that's you guys, whoever's doing the marketing over there, it just needs some serious fucking help, like some desperate fucking help. Maybe if they left Cupertino every once in a while, if you leave Mountain View and interact with some other human beings, like things will just start to click. I don't know. Maybe.